Greetings, mere mortals, and welcome back to Monster Month. It's that time of the year again when we take a look at the more monstrous aspects of G.I. Joe.
The name sort of implies this. Yes, Timmer was never one for subtlety.
And today we're talking zombies, specifically Cobra zombies.
So meet the Zombie Viper. This figure was released in 2016 with some body parts.
See what I did there?
I couldn't really say this figure has original body parts because it's a reissue of a 2011 figure that was in the 30th anniversary line. This version has blue on one knee and is from the 50th anniversary line. And in case you're wondering why there was a 50th anniversary just 5 years after the 30th anniversary, well, the 50th refers to the original 12-inch G.I. Joe toy from the 60s, while the 30th specifically refers to G.I. Joe, a real American hero.
Yes, not confusing at all.
Anyway, for some reason, Yojo calls this toy a variation, not a second version, even though it looks different and came out 5 frickin' years later.
Yes, not confusing at all.
And Timmer thought he had it bad with that General Flag character. The extra blue on the toy is welcome because holy hell it can use some color. All of it is just shades of grey.
Well, at least it's not 50 Shades.
My guess is they looked at the only other zombie from the G.I. Joe line, the Toxo zombie, yes, remember that monstrosity? And decided they wanted to do the exact opposite of that.
And the exact opposite is too far in the other direction.
A little more color would have been nice. Still, you can't say this color scheme isn't appropriate, so it's not a huge black, or should I say gray mark against the figure. And there is a lot to like about the Zombie Viper. His head looks very cool, and yep, there's no denying that's an undead guy when looking at it. Plus, the otherworldly yellow eyes are great.
Now, let's go straight from the top to the bottom of the figure. I meant the feet, and you know it.
Specifically, he's got separate big toes. And feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but that's a first for a G.I. Joe figure, I think. I'll stay with the feet to point out another cool feature. Since this figure has the modern body construction, it had extra points of articulation. For the feet, this means they can move left and right as well as up and down. He also has the same type of extra movement at the wrists, meaning he can move his hands to be in that classic zombie pose. Something no zombie figure should be without.
Now, let's get into the gruesome guts of this figure. By which I mean the detailing.
I've already mentioned how great the head looks. Apart from the eyes, his mouth is cool too, with it being open and all. And the rotten, worn-down flesh on the head, arms, and lower legs look awesomely gruesome too. You can tell he's a cobra thanks to a logo on each arm and a big one on his chest, though that one is obscured by his webbing gear. That thing is supposed to be removable, by the way, but I'm really not gonna bother to try to do that.
That does bring us to his accessories.
First of all, he comes with a helmet, one that's a slightly modified version of the modern Lamprey's one. He also comes with a canister attached to a hose that can plug into the helmet, while the canister plugs into the webbing on the back. What's strange is this figure came with only one canister, while there are 3 holes for the hose on the helmet and 4 holes to plug the canister in on the back. He really should have had 2 more of those accessories.
But that's just Hasbro being cheap again, I guess.
Also, the last hole is very low on the back, so you can plug the thing in his ass. making this another first for G.I. Joe, a character that can literally huff his own farts. And just try to imagine what zombie farts would smell like. No wonder this guy looks pissed off.
Lastly, he comes with alternate lower arm attachments.
You can take off his hands and replace them with gruesome tentacles. The bad thing is that reattaching the arms can be very difficult to do, and I have a feeling doing this too much will cause wear and tear on the joint, making them loose or broken. So be careful with that. And that was the Zombie Viper figure. Overall, yes, a most excellent zombie. And I think we can all agree it's a huge improvement on Hasbro's first efforts with the Toxo Zombie.
So now it's time to look at the character, which pretty much means looking at the file cards.
But first, there's the name, Zombie Viper. Though there isn't anything really recognizable about his outfit, it does not look like a decayed Viper uniform. If anything, it reminds me of a trooper. Now, this 50th anniversary version didn't have card art. All these figures came in generic packaging with snake eyes on it.
Because we must always have snake eyes. Can't spend a minute not focusing on snake eyes.
But at least the 30th anniversary version did get its own art. And it doesn't look a thing like the finished product. For one thing, the picture of him has hair while the figure does not. But much more importantly, he's blue. Very blue. But the toy is mostly gray. Sure, there is some blue detailing, but nothing like this.
What, is he supposed to be a zombie smurf?
I'm going to, actually myself here and point out that zombie smurfs are purple. Yes, there was a zombie apocalypse episode of the Smurfs in the 80s. They were really ahead of their time. And they solved the problem with a huge explosion, so they've got that in common with G.I. Joe.
Anyway, on to the card itself.
Zombie Vipers are Cobra infantry troopers who have been given a mysterious chemical substance, Compound C. Compound C?
Oh, that's freaking original Compound Z.
At least Resident Evil bothered to call it that T-virus. His primary weapon is a Compound C removable bulb. Ah, so that's what the canister is. I guess he's supposed to hurl it at people to turn them into zombies?
Looks like just biting his victims is too low-tech for this fancy Cobra zombie.
This doesn't explain why the bulb is attached to his helmet, though. There's two possibilities, really. Either he needs to keep breathing the compound to remain a zombie, even though zombies don't breathe, or he breathes out the compound and it's stored to use as a weapon, even though, again, zombies don't breathe. And let's not even speculate about the ass attachment.
Either option is stupid.
The compound turns them into drones that don't think or can't be reasoned with. They just follow orders. They do retain their combat skills and are even more aggressive.
Ah, so Cobra wants to use zombies as a weapon.
Yes, the Umbrella Corporation also tried that once, and it worked out really well. So these guys are really just battle android troopers, only with fleshy bits. Rotten fleshy bits. The 50th anniversary card has their secondary military specialty be viral sabotage. That's an interesting way to describe a zombie attack. Also, I wish I had done this review like a year ago, when I could have made a bunch of deadly virus jokes.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen anymore anytime soon.
Now, since this is a modern figure, the character obviously didn't appear in the original comic or cartoons. Certain modern comics did have zombies in them, so you can look for those if you're curious. And that was the Zombie Viper. A good zombie, and one of the best monster figures they've ever done in the G.I. Joe line.
Until next time, mere mortals, and remember, Liking, subscribing, and sharing proves that you have brains. Brains!